presenting your hosts, Alexander, Brandon, and Benjamin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the All Over the Place podcast. I am your host for today, Alexander. I'm joined by Benjamin.
Hello.
And Brandon.
Hey, guys.
Brandon, our new host.
Brandon's being sexist over here. He said guys. There's gals and other things as well. Come on, Brandon. Be a little bit more inclusive.
That actually rhymes. I should just say, hello, guys, gals, and everything, other things as well. Is that
I'm just
what you
thinking
said?
of the Shrek, like, in all fairy tale things.
Well, then. Yeah. How is everyone doing tonight?
Weird. How do you know we're not recording during today? Like, all of our windows are shut. How do you know it's not daytime?
Because the clock says PM.
Is the clock correct, though? Or are you just perceiving it as correct? I'm taking a
perceiving
philosophy
the clock as
course right
correct.
now, so there's nothing is the right answer.
Oh, got it. Great. You're one of those pretentious fuckers.
There's nothing
Anyways,
pretentious about philosophy. It's the thought process behind things. The first book I read argued for the existence of God. The next one argued against it. It's actually pretty cool. I think you'd like philosophy, Alex. Honestly, like if you ever had to take like a course, you can choose it. Philosophy, you would like it. You like debating and thinking about things. It would be good for you.
I do like debating. This is correct. I love debating.
Because there's
It's
no
one of my
solid
favorite.
answer. It's why do we think that this is that?
Oh no!
and what?
When I was scheduled to go to NBCC, philosophy was the course I would be taking in my first semester. But
No, it's not.
oh well.
You mean UNB?
UNB is what I meant.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the thing. I'm taking it right now. I'm definitely gonna take it next semester because I think it's a two-parter course. But anywho,
Anyhow, how's your school going, Brandon? For those of you listening, Brandon is in film school, Toronto Film School, to be how's school going?
My school's going good. I've got 2 assignments in so far. I got one I have to have done in the next 12 days. But I just have to basically read a screenplay for a movie that I forget the name of, but it's like an old-timey movie. And then I gotta do an assignment on lighting as well. So we're kind of doing a bit of everything. I have 2 courses. One's story fundamentals. That's the one where I have to read the long script. And then the other one is video production where we actually do the hands-on camera stuff. So it's going all right so far. I haven't gotten anything back yet graded, so I'm hoping I'm doing well. But yeah, it's been a good experience so far, and hoping to learn a lot more. I've already learned quite a bit about lenses. So.
Oh really? Lenses. Are lenses that important?
They are very important.
yes,
especially
they're
for
very important.
stylistic
I'm not even a
shots.
filmmaker, man. Lenses are so important. I've listened to Distractable so many times, and Markiplier making his movie, he talks about lenses in very deep detail. It's great.
How's your school going, Ben?
Actually,
You're
really
doing
surprisingly
bachelor
good. I
vibes
like it so much more than NBCC. I don't know what
You
it
do?
is. Maybe it's the 3-hour days. I don't like having to go every single day, but I would say that I like the going for 3 hours and you lecture and then leave. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That's good. And anything else to add on that?
Not particular. I mean, yeah, kind of. I like how it feels like I'm more independent and it's not like high school, but for grown-ups. It kind of
Right.
feels like high school a little bit, but I would say NBCC was a lot more of a structured approach as opposed to anything else. And UNB is you go, do your lecture, you leave. What you do with the rest of the time is your own. They dictated a lot more of what we were doing each day sort of thing.
Okay.
It felt a
So-
lot more
so-
structured at NBCC, which I kind of liked, and a routine sort of thing, but I do kind of like the just going in for a lecture and then leaving it's nice. I don't have to put a lot of brain power into it besides like note taking and things like that.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad that it's more laid back and you're enjoying it at least.
And that's the thing.
Is it laid back or is it just less hours?
It all depends on your teacher, really. They more than anything, they all want you to succeed and try and do things. So it's really it's more. I'm trying to find the word. It's what you make of it more than anything. I found so far. I've liked all my teachers and everything's really positive. No one's been like a real hard ass. But I do actually have a teacher. I'm taking a fairy tale adaptations class, and the demeanor and everything reminds me exactly of English in like high school, in like grade 11 specifically.
Nice.
Like the teacher herself just resembles our grade 11 teacher. And just their attitude, like her demeanor and everything. She's very like snappy and will call you out in the middle of class if you're doing something stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they care if you're on your phone?
Yeah, sort of thing.
Wait, that they do? I didn't think
Yes, they all have their own phone policies. More than anything, she's the only one that I find really gets annoyed when people are on them. But like the other times, you're just in like a lecture theater, so they can't really say anything. But no, they all on all these syllabuses, all the syllabi, I should say. They all have like phone policies right on them and like computer policies sometimes.
I honestly thought like they wouldn't care what you're doing because you're giving them money no matter what.
Well, you're there also to learn. When you're on your phone that entire time, you're just stealing from yourself, really. Like
yeah, so like.
But yes,
I
there's many times where I've just sat on my phone. Like when I was at NBCC, I've just been sat on my phone the entire class. They don't give a shit. They just keep teaching. They're not going to stop for you. They may be annoyed, and then you wonder why you failed the test that you were supposed to, like you thought you did good on, but that's your own fault at the end of the day.
Brandon,
that being said,
phone policy.
Yeah, what's your technology policy for virtual school?
It's virtual school. They like now granted there was a few calls I guess that have happened that I've missed because I wasn't able to get into Teams, and right now I'm only on Teams with like one of my courses, which isn't a big deal because that's not where they give assignments out, but it is where we do our discussions and our calls. And they'll do like one call a week, I think it is. And but yeah, no, you can't really, especially when it's such a technology focused course and you do things at your own pace anyways on your computer. It's kind of not be like, how dare you be on your phone? It's like, it's my camera as well. Like, oh, carry on. Like but no, I haven't been in any video calls, so it's not like I've been like scrolling while I'm on a call. That could be the only situation where I could think they might say something, but I haven't been put in that situation yet. But yeah, otherwise it's just as much as you'd think. Like I'm just doing work. The only communication through instructors is through like a chat. So it's like it's because I'm not in a physical real world place like you would be, Ben, or where you'll be, Alex, whenever you go to college. It's just like I'm not going to have to deal with that until I'm in a physical space, which I'm not going to be for this course. So.
No, Brandon's not even. His room is not a physical space. It is the limbo in between worlds.
He's not a physical person.
Being a school.
Are we physical people though? How do we know that we even exist? I'm asking you a question. It's not rhetorical, Alex. How do we know if we actually exist?
If we all exist?
How do you know that you exist right now?
Well,
base level, like just generic, like not anything super intricate. How do you know you exist?
Because I just know, like, this all feels real. None of this feels fake.
But how do you know it's not just your perception of reality? How do you know someone else isn't warping it?
You've been to too many philosophy classes.
This is like what he talked on the first day.
I know it's real because I know what it's like to feel like something is real, and then wake up from that, and then you're like, you can't have two. You can't if something's a dream. There's like waking, and then there's dream.
But how do you know this isn't one long dream and you're not just going to wake up at the end of it?
Because it feels different from when you were in the dream, because logic now applies where it didn't in the dream, even though it made sense at the time. Now that you've woken up and you're like, that was a dream I just had. And now you're awake.
But does logic really apply? Or are we just, is it just a construct that we made up?
It applies. It's different
Is
from
anything real, or are we just in the Matrix? Is what I'm trying to say, guys.
Okay, who's the host of this episode?
Alex, you're doing a great job hosting. I gotta say, we
Well,
should give the
I've-
host award to Alex. Great hosting. You're doing a
Well,
great job.
you
of
know,
telling us what
getting
we're
up
supposed
from
to be
the
doing.
small talk to today's topic. As my two dear friends, Ben and Brandon, know, but as the audience don't, I have insomnia, so I take a medication to fall asleep. This medication is prescribed. It's called quetiapine. It's so fun. It essentially makes me high. So, I took it a few minutes ago. They weren't looking, but I took it. Today's topic for you two, I'm going to give you topics. One of you has to run with it and improv a story on the go. Whichever one I find funnier wins. We'll go for an hour, right? And we'll see who wins at the end. And whoever wins at the end, they can host next episode. But here's the thing. I am gonna be high in like 20 minutes. So make me laugh. Do your worst. Do y'all
Joel, you want us to do our
accept-
best or do our worst? Which is it?
I don't
do our
I
best
don't.
job at doing the worst.
Yeah, do your best. That's what this podcast is.
The best at being the worst.
The best at being the
That is
best.
totally gonna be the episode title. We'll see. Maybe
Is it-
something else funnier will come up.
Yeah.
I'm always
that-
brainstorming
dude,
episode
chug,
idea.
Jug in my eyeball. Like that's such a like.
We do it. Alex
That's great.
comes live on camera in this episode,
Oh.
and we don't tell them when the time is, and we allude to it being at the end.
It's time stamped.
No, like I'm saying, we got to make them listen to the episode. So I'll tell them it's
Yeah,
the
you
end.
you gotta listen. I'll just randomly moan sometime. They won't know. I'll jump scare those who are sleeping.
As we know, this is not a sleep podcast. So
No, it's not.
in
If you
tradition,
like
we didn't
to
do this
sleep,
last
wake up!
episode. You know, I didn't
Oh,
really
his
in my
mic
mic. I'm going
breaks.
to max that to the max. I'm going to give full-on ear rape here. Anyways,
That one kid
Alex,
who's just
seeing as
listening to fall asleep and they just hear.
yeah, exactly. Okay, well, Alex, what sort of story would you like us to tell? Are we gonna do like genres or like?
I'm going to give you a prompt, and
Okay,
you gotta
all right.
gotta go with it. And
Okay,
you're each
so-
gonna have. You
So are
have
me
to
and
go
Brandon
for
telling our
5
own,
minutes
telling
to-
like the same prompt and telling the same story, or are we gonna like be telling the story together?
No, yeah, you're gonna be telling the story together, and whoever I think told the best portions of the story.
We did
gets
this
the
in
point.
elementary school. That's why.
It's
Yeah,
called,
this reminds me of the first grade because Alex is a fucking child.
Let's see. Let's get a timer up here for 5 minutes because you're each gonna be timed for 5 minutes. Oh fuck! It's already happening. 5 minutes is how long the story will be. First prompt. You get bitten by a radioactive goat. You now have goat powers. You're 13 years old on a school trip. You're out. The goat bites you. You get home. You wake up. What are your superpowers? What's happening in your life? Who do you live with? What's your superhero name? Do you have superpowers at all? Are you a superhero or are you just fucked? Brandon, No, Ben. Ben's starting the prompt. He raised his hand, which means he's starting the prompt.
Okay.
I'm starting the timer now. Go.
Okay. So my name is Billy. Okay. I've been now just bitten by a radioactive goat. I get home. I fall asleep. I wake up and have this sudden urge to only eat aluminum cans. So I go downstairs, start digging in the trash, urgently. Like I'm just, you know what I mean? Like just, you can just picture it. And I'm living with my second cousin's aunt's dog walker, this mailman. So he's just kind of confused. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you eating all this tin cans?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know. I just have this urge. I can't stop." And he's like, "Well, okay. Well, you can't eat cans." And I told him, "Well, of course I can eat cans. This is a free country. I can do what I want." And he says, "Well, if you keep eating cans, I'm going to send you to the insane asylum." So I kept eating the cans, and he wouldn't stop. And he's like, "Dude, you're acting kind of like a billy goat." And then it occurred to me, It was the goat.
And Ben, stop. Brandon, take over.
So I hear a knock on the door, and I open the door, and then there's my grandfather dressed up head to toe in a goat suit, but we can see his human face, and he puts his hand on my shoulder, and he says, "Grandson, we need to talk about your legacy." So he brings me to the basement. And it turns out I come from a long line of goatmen. And
Like
apparently,
satyrs? What kind of goatmen are we talking here?
well, just furries, really. And so then what happens is apparently we get our nutrients from eating aluminum cans, and that I am no longer able to get nutrients from regular food. So Grandpa says we are planning a heist.
And Brandon, stop. Ben, pick up.
So, in this heist, it is to hijack the Aluminum Can Museum in Kentucky. So, we don't live in Kentucky, we live in New Brunswick, Canada. So what we have to do is when we have to book a
Wow,
flight,
great way to dox us.
we don't live in Kentucky. Great way to dox us. So we fly there, and we're planning, and we're planning, and we're planning. And we're like, okay, we got to go for the big can, the big model can of Coca-Cola that sits in the very center, and it's made of aluminum, solid aluminum, everything. So after that, we're just, okay, so we're going to target that, and we're going to flip it over on the side, and we're going to roll out of the building. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hop on top of the can, and we're going to roll it back home, like, one of those logs, you do like on water. So we get there, and now we're rolling, and we keep rolling and rolling and rolling. And then we get, like, really tired, but then my grandfather falls off, and he gets crushed by the can, and I just get traumatized.
And Ben, stop. Brandon, go.
He fell off, and it turns out he has gotten brain damage, and he really thinks that he is a goat now. So I wake up from the fall, and I just see my grandfather on all fours with a patch of grass in his mouth. And he's just like munching on it like it's McDonald's. And I say, "Grandpa, what are you doing?" And for some reason, he says moo. And it just doesn't make any sense at all. And so I'm like, "Oh, you need to get Grandpa to a hospital." So I pick up Grandpa and I start dragging him because he's not. And then I actually figure, you know what? A faster way to get there, because since he's on all fours, would be to ride my grandpa. So I ride my grandpa down that hill, kind of like a sled at some points. And then we make it to the general hospital.
And Brandon, stop. Ben, go.
Once we get to the hospital, it turns out that my grandfather actually got bitten by me when I was trying to eat the big can when he fell over. So when I originally got bitten by the radioactive goat, I actually bit my grandfather, and I didn't realize it, because a part of the goat thing is you have bad short-term memory loss. So that just happened. So I was told that I had bad short-term memory loss because of all the cans that I've been eating. And then I get into the hospital and they sedate me. And then I wake up and it was all a dream.
You have 30 seconds left on the clock, so that actually ended perfectly.
Or was it?
That was actually really funny. That worked out really good. Brandon, I'd say you're getting the point here. Here, I'm gonna put it in a little Google Doc.
It's better compared to what I did for commentary last episode, because I just couldn't think of what to say, to be honest.
Oh, that's okay. I'm just gonna type your name. That's
Brent. Types it in the Discord.
Oh, I was wondering why my name was put in there.
That's
keep
the
editing
point.
the message and just adding points.
Yeah. So, Brandon. Anyways, so yeah, Brandon got that point. I really like the all of it.
Just advanced level 1 in Discord.
I think Ben's turns out I bit my grandfather, or you bit your uncle, or whatever it was. I forget who bit who.
Who
Apparently,
can really say for sure?
Canonically, Ben bit the uncle, apparently.
Okay. Yeah, that was pretty good. Anyways, Brandon, you're starting off our next topic. Are you ready?
Sure. Hit me with that topic.
You are 15 years old. You are a male. It is midnight in your house. You head downstairs and you need to use the washroom. All the lights are off. You go into the bathroom and you turn the light on, and there is your mother standing there, taking a piss, and you see that your mother has a penis. 3, 2, 1, go.
Mom, you're my dad, I say? And she's like, but I thought Dad left. It turns out he'd been there the entire time. And it was actually my mom who wasn't there. And so in order to save me from the pain, my dad had dressed up as my mom, like a Mrs. Doubtfire. And they were sitting there holding their penis. And I was like, Mom, you have a dick? How could you have never told me about this? And then they look at me with wide eyes and they say, son, it's not what you think. Then they proceed to turn my way and begin to urinate Mountain Dew onto the floor. It turns out it's not pee at all.
Okay, Brandon, stop. Ben, pick up.
Turns out it's actually creamed corn. And everything's just getting really fucking confusing now. And it actually turns out that they're calling you son, but then you look down and it turns out that you don't even have a penis. Turns out that you actually have a vagina too. And the genders have been swapped on both sides. And then you look back at your mom and you're like, how could you lie to me so long about this? And like, it was for your own protection. We come from a long line of human genital shapeshifters. And we are sworn to secrecy to protect the world. We are the last line of defense between everything. When the world finally goes to shit on global warming, we're going to be there with our genital swapping abilities to save the planet. We're going to bring back fossil fuels. Everything's going to be great. We're going to save the planet. And then you say, well, I didn't ask for this. I don't want to be a genital shapeshifter, Mom. I didn't ask for this. I can't handle the burden and responsibility of protecting my friends and family and peers. My friends and family will be hurt. They're going to be put into the targets knowing that I'm a genital shapeshifter.
And Ben, stop, Brandon, go.
So I ran back up to my room and I locked my room. And then it turns out that we have enemies because there's a ladder that I forgot to fold up that was against my bedroom window, and there's a knock on the window. They said, Brandon, I can't think of anything to say next. And then I went out the window with them, and I was like, who are you? And it's like, we're here to take you. So they grabbed my sweater, and they pulled me down the ladder. And then I was like, what is this? They put a bag over my head, and they says, we're the Anti-Genital Shapeshifting Association, and we're bringing you to court.
And Brandon, stop, Ben, go.
Then, turns out we weren't actually going to court. And it turns out we're now at the head of Tesla, and I'm sitting here with Elon Musk, and he tells me that, Ben, we are planning to move to Mars. But because of the population issue, we need your genital swapping abilities to help reproduce with yourself. You are going to make your own babies on Mars for 100 years. You end up it turns out you actually live forever when you're a genital shapeshifter, I should say. So now you're going to impregnate yourself for the next 100 years so that we have a firm, strong population. And you say, Elon, I can't do this alone. And then Elon pulls down his pants, and it turns out that Elon is actually also a genital shapeshifter, just like you. And he says, we won't have to do this together. I'm coming with you.
Okay, Ben, stop. Brandon, go, and you have a minute. I'll give you a 30-second heads up when it's time to wrap up. Go.
Or in you, I should say. Elon and me went into the next room, and we didn't come out for several hours. I just remembered we're talking about a 15-year-old. Scrap that. Shit.
Oh, shit.
I forgot about that. I was just thinking of my age.
Yeah, sorry, I should just go back in time here real quick. When Elon's plan to get me to impregnate myself, it was... You suppose I was going to be of legal age. He said we can't send you to the Mars until you're at least 21. and then that's when the plan will happen. Brandon, proceed. I'm sorry.
So at 21 years of age, Elon Musk and I,
15.
at legal age, went into this room, and we didn't come out for several hours. And after we were done, there was we had an army
seconds, wrap it
of
up.
little Elon Muskuses. And they said, we will take over the world.
Very good story. I'm going to say Ben gets the point for that one simply because I sat there and
I heard
the genital swapping part was really funny, and then
It
I
was.
wanted to see where it went. Then both of you forgot this kid was 15.
We did. We did. I'm not a pedophile, you know what I mean? I just forgot the age.
Yeah.
that was really funny. All right, good. Ben gets the point. That's 1-1. Woo. It's all tied up. Like Ben, as he opens his eyes in the warehouse, all tied up, and in front of him is a man dressed in a Moto costume from Madagascar 2. 5 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go. Ben, you're starting.
Okay, well, you didn't specify. I wake up. I'm in the warehouse. I see a Moto costume. I'm thinking, whoa, is this a dream? So I start pinching myself. Well, I didn't pinch myself. I tell the hippopotamus, because I'm all tied up, right? I'm like, Moto, can you please just start hitting me vigorously to see if I'll wake up? He does it for probably about 30 seconds, and then I don't wake up. I'm like, oh, well, shit, this is real. I might as well just lean into it. And I say, well, do you have another hippopotamus costume that I can also wear so that we can parade around in the warehouse together? And then he says yes. So then we do. So I put on the costume, and then we're running around like a bunch of fucking hippopotamus furries. And then Peter comes in, but then Peter sees this. And what do you think Peter does?
Who's Peter?
Peter from that we know. I'm including Peter that we know in this story. And
Well,
he
you
says,
have to explain
whoa.
it for the audience.
Peter's a furry. So we get in, and he says it. And he's like, whoa. Oh my goodness, they're alligator furries. I need to catch them and give them a big smooch on the lips. So we think that Peter wants to get us.
Brandon, go.
So we ran out of the warehouse, pursued by Peter, and we climbed the shelves, hoping that he would not be able to get up that high. But then, Peter comes out of the warehouse on the Joey. Now, the Joey is a machine that can go up really high. It's like a forklift. He comes up, he jumps onto the part that goes up, and he pulls the lever to bring himself up to our level, and he says, you can't hide from me. So, in order to save myself, I push Moto into Peter's arms and make my break for it. Moto says, please, Brandon, come back. But it's already too late. Peter has started his smooching.
Okay, Brandon, stop and go.
And Peter, as he's saying, when he's doing the kissing, he says, I like him big. I like him chunky. Once he's done with Moto, he says, he tosses him aside. And he says, I'm coming for you. And then I hear that, and I just start whining. And then I take off the mask. And I'm like, no, wait. I'm not. It's just me, Ben. Or Brandon, who the fuck this is supposed to be, because we switched already. It's fine. And then he says, that doesn't matter. You're going to put on the costume again, and I'm going to chase you around. This is the most dangerous game. And then I'm like, wait, no, Peter. And then I run over to the gun aisle, because now he's going to go get lipstick to kiss me, and I'm like, I gotta take the opportunity to go get a gun. So I don't get it, but then because I'm wearing the hippopotamus costume, I feel a sudden wave of hippopotamus strength. So I grab the safety bars and the guns, and I tear them down, and I tear open the bullets.
Ben, stop, Brandon, go.
I loaded the 12-gauge shotgun only to have a tap on the back of my shoulder, and it turns out there was a grizzly bear, a man in a grizzly bear costume also there with a 12-gauge shotgun pointed at the back of my head. And he asked me if I have started any forest fires lately. And I was like, it's you from the ad. And he's like, yes, it is me. And I say, no, I haven't, but I'm being chased by this guy named Peter. And he says, okay, we'll hunt him together. So me, with our 12-gauge shotguns, we go down each and every aisle and we search for Peter. Then over the walkie-talkie, I ask if the bear has seen Peter, and he doesn't answer. I turn around, go looking for him, and it turns out the bear has been strung up by his neck at the top of the store, with Peter standing below, smiling.
Oh shit, Ben, pick up, and I'll give you the 30-second warning.
Cool. So then Peter giggles and he says, "This isn't even my ultimate mode." Peter runs to the warehouse really quickly and does a comical putting on a costume. Peter comes out and he's wearing a full Super Mario Bowser costume and he says, "Roar," like Bowser from Mario. And then he says, "Now we are going to fight to the death. And once you die, then I'm going to restart this all again because this is all secretly a secret furry fighting, catching, and kissing ring."
30 seconds.
And then I say, "Well, fine. If I win, then I get control of the furry fight smooching club." And then he says, "Well, I guess we'll see." So then we fight and we have a big battle. And then it turns out all along that and then it turns out that I actually enjoy it. So then I'm like, wait, am I a furry? Maybe I'm a furry. And then we actually just have a handshake. And then we decide that we are going to rule the furry fight kissing club together.
Very good. I'm gonna say, sorry, Brandon. Ben gets that point simply because you couldn't remember Smokey the Bear's name.
I couldn't remember.
Only you prevent forest fuckery.
Only you, forest fucker. All right.
Why'd you put his name twice?
Because he has 2 points. You have
Oh,
1 point. He has
okay.
2 points. Every time you get a point, I'm putting down your name. That's what I'm doing now because that's what I've decided to do.
Yeah, I gotta say, we are very good at improv. We have to do this more often.
This should just be what we do from now on.
Next
Improv
week, we're
comedy.
gonna play Change. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Speaking of change, Brandon, you're walking down the street. It's around noon, lunchtime-ish even. You have a wallet in your hands because you're going to go to an ATM machine. The ATM machine isn't in the bank, it's just on the sidewalk because it's that kind of ATM machine. Anyways, you pull it out and you'll accidentally drop some change. It's a quarter, a nickel, and a dime. You reach down to pick it up, but some other hand reaches for it too. You accidentally touch that hand and look up, and there is Johnny Sins. And he says, "Oh, sorry, I was picking this up for you." You don't know if you believe him, or if he's telling the truth, if he's lying, or if he's lying, or if he's telling the truth that you believe. 3, 2, 1, go.
Johnny Sen says, "The truth is, I just thought you'd be perfect for my next movie." And I say, "Oh, you're an
Oh
actor?"
shit, pause the clock. I forgot. This time I'm going to be playing the role of Johnny Sins. So, you guys just say what the person is saying and say what's happening, but I will say Johnny Sins words. So when it comes for time for Johnny Sins to say shit, I'm the one who speaks. So, on the count of 3, Brandon, you have to say the first line. The count of 3, you're picking up change I'm picking up the change that you dropped, and I'm Johnny Sins, and you don't know if I'm lying. 3, 2, 1, go.
What's your name?
Oh, I can't believe you don't know me. My name is John.
Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you too, Brandon. Is this your change?
Why, yes, it is.
Would you like it back?
No, I'd like you to put it in your pocket and walk away. What do you think?
Okay, here's your change back, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I have a blowjob?
Well, that was very straightforward. I'm not sure how actually, Johnny Sins reaches into his pocket and he pulls out his wallet with a card in it. "Here's my card. Come meet me in the back alley in 2 hours."
I'll be there.
Johnny Sins exit the stage. Now you two have to take hold of the host until you get back to Johnny Sins. Ben, go.
So I'm thinking about what I should do to kill time. I mean, if he's promising me a blowjob, I open my pants, I go into a private place. Oh, actually, no, I do it right in the middle of the street, and I look down my pants, and I'm like, shit, I've got to get all trimmed up for Johnny. So then I go on to manscaped.com, and then I call their customer service line, and I'm like, ring, 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 ring. And they answer and say, yes, hello, how can I help you? And I'm like, I need to be manscaped immediately. Expedited shipping, everything. I need it in the next 2 hours. And they say, we've got a number just for this. We got a guy. So then they and then they tell me to go to this address. It's 5 minutes away from me. I go. Turns out I get in there, and I'm like, who are you? And he says, I am the manscaper. I will scape your man areas. And I get in there, and and I'm just picturing this ginormous big saw thing like Stan Lee from Thor Ragnarok. He's got this ginormous thing. And it actually turns out that it is actually Stan Lee.
Brandon, go.
All of a sudden, Johnny Sins shows up behind me, and Johnny says, I didn't know you were bringing a friend.
No. Johnny Sins, John Sins City says, I didn't know you were bringing a friend.
Stan Lee says, oh no, you got it all wrong. I'm just here to shave his balls. And he's like, oh, but I prefer it au natural.
You mean I say, oh, I prefer... I mean, Johnny Sins says, I prefer it au natural.
So then, Stan Lee, me, and Johnny Sins all go at it in the parking lot.
Brandon,
it's also behind
stop,
a Denny's.
Ben. Ben, go.
After that, I say, man, I'm really hungry. I could go for some Denny's. And then Johnny says, well, I know the guy there. He can get us a table for free. So we go into the Denny's.
Did you just say Johnny Sins says?
Oh, Johnny Sins says...
Well, I don't know the guy there, so we can't get that table for free.
Well, then I interject, and then Stanley interjects and says, well, everybody's got a price. And as we know, maybe the guy likes it au naturel, but if not, I can offer to shave his balls for free. So then we walk into the Denny's, and then Johnny Sins at the top of his lungs screams,
I want pancakes slathered on my nutsack right here, right now. Maple syrup on my tits and in my belly button. And you know what? Just for good measure, put a butter stick in my ass. Brandon, go.
The worker
You
says...
have to wrap up the story. You have a minute left, by the way. I'll give you a 30-second warning.
The cashier says, I don't think we're allowed to do that, sir. But Johnny Sins was already getting undressed from head to toe. The manscaper was doing the same as well. His wrinkly old man balls were a sight to see compared to Johnny Sins' shaved, smooth scrotum.
30 seconds.
All of a sudden, the FBI broke through the windows and says, put your hands up. And then Johnny Sins and Stan Lee got in the ground, and I made my breakout of Denny's with my waffles in hand. And I was never to be seen again.
I gotta say, I'm gonna give that to Brad.
Just how you casually said a blowjob got me so bad. So good.
Describing not just an old man's balls, but Stan Lee's balls.
R.I.P. Stanley, but we've been talking about your testicles.
Oh, my stomach hurts. Is what Ben said as he's in labor in the hospital. He's the first man to ever give birth. Is he giving it out of his ass? Is he giving it out of his dick? Is he giving it out of his nose? We don't know where the baby's coming out of. I'm not playing any role this time. Brandon is playing the role of the doctor. Ben is playing the role of the patient going into labor. 5 minutes on the clock. And I will give you new prompts every minute, like a new little... And then this happens.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Whoever wants to start. Go.
Doc, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm feeling pulses in my stomach, and I think I might be having contractions, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I don't have a uterus. I don't know how this is possible. I can't be making babies. So how is there one inside of me?
Honey, there's hands coming out of your ass.
What? Where?
We need to grab some Adderall. It'll help.
Adderall. Oh, but that's how that's how I got here in the first place. I took 17 different Adderall medications, all different brands, but they all did the same exact thing because I thought they would do different things. Anyways, so we're here, and this is how I got here. I took 17 Adderalls, and now I have this thing inside of me, doctor. You have to tell me what can I do? Where do I sit over a toilet? Like what happens?
We're gonna have to surgically remove this alien. That's right, it's an alien.
And you hear Seth MacFarlane singing in the lobby. Go.
I say, wait, doctor, shut up. It's Seth MacFarlane downstairs. Do you think he may want to sign my ass?
I think
as I'm giving birth to this alien baby?
Maybe he can sign the alien's ass as well. Go ask him.
Oh, okay. So I rush downstairs, and as I'm going, each step, the alien is slowly coming more and more out of my ass. And I say, and you're following me behind, and you're just like, bro, I think we'll have to stop and give birth to the baby in this stairwell right now. All right, I said what you said, but, let's proceed.
Okay, we're going to have to get Seth MacFarlane here to deliver the baby because I'm not qualified. Seth, get over here.
And just as Seth MacFarlane gets over, Brandon has an instant orgasm because he loves Seth MacFarlane so much. Go.
Hearing the doctor moan sets off my own fetish because I am into people moaning. And then I tell Seth MacFarlane, you gotta do Peter Griffin. It's the only thing that's gonna make me get this baby out. It's the motivation I need. I need you to do a cutaway and pretend like you're cutaway to the audience. Oh, I remember the one time that I made a baby with an alien, and it was something really funny and distracting me, and the baby's almost out. And I asked the doc, what do I do now? Like I'm almost there. I don't think I can do this.
Okay, I have an idea to get the baby out. I grabbed a rope and tied it to my Ford F-150, and then I got in the driver's seat and said, we're gonna have to pull this baby out by force. I got the gas in, Seth got in the passenger seat, and then we went full 60 miles per hour down the highway, but instead of
and then Seth MacFarlane says, wait, I think my water just broke.
And I
like,
say,
what do you mean,
wait,
Seth? You're a man.
What? Yeah. What do you mean, Seth? Wait, Seth. Are you saying that you're also pregnant with a baby, an alien baby? Did that mean that you also took Adderall? Wait, were you the guy that sold me that Adderall?
It turned out that Seth and Ben had gotten each other pregnant because it turns out they have shape-shifting genitals and were able to get each other pregnant. So now we are going 60 miles per hour down the highway, and instead of the alien being pulled out, Ben in his hospital gown is just flailing around on the highway with a rope coming out of his ass.
You have a minute left. Wrap it up.
I'm screaming, it's almost there! It's almost there! It's almost there! And then it pulls. And then it finally gives. And then I start rolling vigorously on the highway. My fucking bones are all cracking and shit. And I'm done for. And then they pull over the vehicle. And Seth comes over. And he's like, wait. It turns out I wasn't actually pregnant. It just turns out that I was just ate a lot of fried chicken. And it was really bad. Don't go to KFC. And then I said, oh yeah, me too. I went to KFC. And it turns out that it was just a ginormous diarrhea.
We just lost that brand sponsorship.
And that's the end?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, that was very good. That actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would. You were very quick on your feet. This is a tough one. I don't know.
I'd say Ben. I'm not as quick on my feet.
I don't know.
I mean, Brandon's saying you have to give me the point, and like it. I also agree. So it's like 2-1. So I don't know.
Well, of course you agree.
But I came up with the Seth MacFarlane thing, didn't I?
So you're saying that you should deserve the point?
Maybe.
Okay, I guess Alex is giving himself a point.
I'm gonna give it to. Who loves me more?
I do.
Well, fuck you guys. Oh, Ben said he does. Okay, never mind. Sorry, Ben.
Woo! That's what we've been waiting for.
You got both of our names in there, so I say it's a tie.
Yeah, you typed both of our names in. Both popped up.
What?
Was that intentional?
Did I type both of
You
your?
typed my name and Ben's name.
Oh no, that's from a while ago. That's from last one.
Oh,
Today
your
at
name's from the last
10:55.
Oh yeah, I'm just seeing it now for some
Oh
reason.
yes, okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know why
Yeah,
it's appearing together, but it's a different timestamp. That doesn't. Anyways, that's fine.
It says new for me, but I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on to our next prompt. This is another one where you will both be playing separate roles. This is the famous Romeo and Juliet story. Brandon will be playing Romeo. Ben will be playing Juliet. The time of the play, right as Romeo enters the graveyard place or whatever and sees Juliet laying down. Romeo's about to kill himself, but then Juliet wakes up right before he's about to kill himself. So imagine Romeo and Juliet, but Juliet stops Romeo from killing himself.
Am I
Okay.
going first?
No,
Oh.
you're playing Juliet. Brandon's playing
Well,
Romeo.
okay. Well, okay.
And I'm about to
Technically,
kill
you'd
myself.
have to say.
Okay, so
Technically,
okay, set the
well,
scene.
yeah, that's
okay,
how
I'll just-
Romeo
okay,
and Juliet go.
Okay, I'll just start. So the scene's set. Romeo is about to take a dagger to his chest and gouge himself, and I wake up and I'm like, "No, Romeo, I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive!" And then he says, but it's too late. He stabs himself anyways. He didn't. It wasn't quick enough to say it.
I fall down onto the ground with the dagger in my heart, and I say to Juliet, I should have used the 12 gauge. So Juliet reaches underneath the bed for me and grabs the 12 gauge shotgun. She picks it up and points it at me, and she says, "It's time."
Hold
to
on.
do an old
You're
yeller."
both. But wait. Remember, Ben's
Right,
playing
I forgot,
Juliet. You're
yes.
playing Romeo. Okay.
I
what
grab
does
the
Juliet
shotgun.
say?
I point it point blank at you, and shut up. And I say, "Well, I'm sorry, but it just has to be done. I'm just gonna put you out of your misery." But not before I do. I turn the shotgun at my face and I blow it. I'm dead now.
Romeo,
end.
she's.
I
You
don't-
still have 3.5 minutes on the clock. Romeo's not dead yet. Continue the story, Brandon.
It turns out I had body armor on underneath my clothes. I was like, that's why the knife didn't work. So I stood up, and Juliet's dead body was laying on the floor.
And then the graveyard worker walks in, and Ben's playing the graveyard worker, and you see the body on the floor, and Romeo standing over at 3, 2, 1, go.
Just another Tuesday afternoon. But I mean, what the fuck's going on over here, Romeo? Did you kill her, or what happened?
She killed herself, but I'll pay you if you keep it to yourself.
Well, you see, I don't take conventional forms of payment. I think we may have to come up with another arrangement.
Why is this podcast so horny?
We're getting it all out. This episode is the horniest episode, and then we're never gonna say anything else about porn or sex
Well,
ever.
continue the story. You have 2.5 minutes.
Proceed, Brandon. I said other forms of payment.
Well, I don't think I'd be able to satisfy you, but perhaps one of my donkeys outside.
Wait a minute.
Well, funny enough for you, I actually have a severe donkey fetish, so I may just take you up on that. But I need you to do one thing for me. Tell this story. You live on. Tell your children. Make your children tell their children, and so on and so forth. Tell them of the legendary graveyard donkey fucker. Tell them how I just took that donkey dick and just went to town.
I have two options for you based on your preferences. We have a male donkey named Johnny Sins and a female one named Mia Khalifa. You may choose which one you'd like.
Can I have both?
If I don't, are you going to tell anybody about what you've seen today?
No, I will not say a single word ever. But you must tell everybody about the time that I double donkeyed.
I will pass on your tale to my grandchildren.
Thank you. I may not survive this, so please make sure you tell. If not, I'll see you in hell.
You guys still have a minute left. Continue.
I exit the scene. You can start to hear vigorous donkey noises in the background.
1 week later, the graveyard worker was dead. And as promised, I passed on his legend on his gravestone, marked, "Graveyard guy was killed by intercourse with 2 donkeys."
And Brandon, fast forward a few years. Ben is your little, your daughter. She's 5 years old. You're sitting outside on the deck talking to her, and she asks, "Daddy, who's that in the photo over there?" And it's the donkey fucker. 3, 2, 1. You have a minute to tell your story to the daughter. Ben's playing the daughter. Go.
I've never told you about Sir Graveyard Man, the donkey fucker.
What's a fucker?
Well, it can be used in a couple different contexts, but this man, he took his wee and he put it inside donkeys, and he paid the price for it. Unfortunately, he tried to be a bottom, and it was too much for him. Unfortunately, and that is why he's in that picture and not sitting here with us today. Do you have any other questions, my dear?
Why is there significant economic inflation in our country this day?
You have 20 seconds.
Well, that's a great question. I would go ask your teacher because I have no clue what the heck you're talking about.
I'm homeschooled.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, go grab me a beer.
And that was, I don't know. That's I don't know.
Am I frozen for you guys? I'm frozen for me.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
you are.
frozen for us.
My phone died. Is that what happened? No. I have 11%.
That may just be low battery mode.
I think I'm gonna give it to Brandon. Or I don't
Now,
know.
dare I say, flip a coin. I mean, it's 50-50. It could be either or. I mean, unless you rig it in my favor.
No. It was. I'm gonna flip a coin. Brandon, heads or tails?
Heads.
Okay, you win.
Like what that
I was
donkey gave the
thinking-
graveyard worker.
We gotta see you
was
flip
thinking
the
of heads.
coin. What are you talking about flipping a coin? What did you flip?
No, I was thinking of heads or tails, and Brandon guessed heads, and I was thinking of heads. Oh, he
Yeah,
wins.
heads.
Oh, that isn't a fucking kick in the balls. Okay. Anyways.
Speaking of kicking the balls,
Oh my god.
Ben,
Who's
you're
leaning into
playing the right testicle. Brandon's playing the left testicle.
God.
Coming to theaters near you. Pixar's Balls. You are attached to a person as they're going throughout their day-to-day life, and you have not had action in years. Ben, your left testy. Brandon, your right testy. Remember, everything you see is from the waist down. 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes on the clock. Go.
You ever wonder what it's like to just not be bouncing around all the time in this sack.
Of course not. I love this. I love my sweat showers that I have while he's working all day, don't you?
Yeah, but you ever just wonder what it'd be like if we got out of the sack? What if we explored? There's a whole untapped world out there. We're so limited to one purpose. But I've heard these things. I've heard moans. Like, there's clearly more out there than just sexual pleasure. There's certainly we must be capable of doing more in the world.
I think you're right. Maybe we need to find a way to detach ourselves from Philip. How can we do that?
Well, now I think we should just cause him massive pain. How about we start hitting each other with our... We're gonna start purposely bouncing into each other. Boing, boing, like a Newtonian, whatever the fucking ball thing is.
That sounds like a great idea, and then maybe the pain will hurt so much that he'll cut us off and we'll be able to go free and maybe go to Italy.
Yes, I've actually heard the pizza's pretty good over there.
Yes, me too.
And it makes our white stuff taste pretty good.
It does. I hear the pineapple on those pizzas can make us taste really good.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. You want to go to Italy and put pineapple on pizza. You just insulted an entire culture. I never took you to be a racist, Testicle.
Once a ball sack, always a ball sack.
But this is what I was saying at the beginning. You don't seem to even want to change. We could be more. We can't just be ball sack. We can't just be balls. We can't be an extension of a dick. We need to be more. We need to give the world something to believe in. I start sobbing everywhere.
If only we weren't conjoined twins.
Yeah, I think we need to separate. I can't be around you anymore. You're just bringing me down, man. First you want to, not see the world, and now you want to see the world, but then put pineapple and insult an entire civilization? Oh, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
Look at that man over there. The butcher, he's holding a very sharp knife. What if you and I push ourselves forward as hard as we can to make Philip go where we need him to go?
Yes. Yes, this is even better. Wait. Now that I think about it, we can make him do whatever we want. We don't even have to leave the sack. We can just make him do it. But now, I think I'm tired of always being in the sidelines. I think we need to make Philip rule the world. We need to unite our other testicle brothers and create a testicle-controlled human army.
A testicle centipede, you might say.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly what I'm thinking. It's so crazy. We're on the same level. It's almost like we're conjoined twins.
So, where can we find other testicles?
Well,
The ball pit. That's where.
the ones with the not testicles are not it. We need men. We need people with male appendages. Women aren't no good. It may feel good for us, but we need to dominate the world, which I think that means we need to kill all non-testicle people.
Well done.
Wait a
World
second.
domination.
I heard the United States president is staying at the local homosexual bathhouse. Maybe we can swap places with the president and become his balls, and that way we can control the country and rule it how we see fit.
So you're saying we need to do a testicle transplant. Sounds good.
Yes, we need to transplant ourselves. Step 1 is going to that bathhouse.
Yes. Let's go.
And we can
We're
push
prepared.
ourselves off as hard as we can. That will disconnect with Philip. Philip doesn't
And then
need
we'll
us
trade
anymore.
with the other, we'll communicate with the other testicles using our testicle powers, and we will swap balls, and they won't even know it.
We will control him, the president, like Ratatouille does with the guy from that movie.
Yes, we shall. It is our destiny. It is decreed.
Dan, That was actually really good. Like, you two played testicles really well.
Is that a
Wow,
compliment?
this is what I was born to do, clearly.
No, like, that's a compliment. Like, you guys brought life to these inanimate objects. Not inanimate objects, but you know what I mean. You guys brought life to these body parts, and they didn't. Yeah,
I felt like we were doing like a sausage party spin-off.
No, I definitely agree. That's totally what it felt like, too.
I am going to. Ben,
My audacity still going?
Ben, heads or tails?
Tails.
It was tails. So, Ben, you get that point. Okay, so, let's see.
He's going to tally them all up. Because I'm going to say it for him.
So we have Brandon, Ben, Brandon, Ben. Ben wins by just 1 point.
Whoa!
Ben with 4 and Brandon
Yeah,
with
let's go.
3.
I won. Yeah, I tried so hard. I actually did try incredibly hard. I went so dramatic with that testicle thing.
You went so dramatic.
Brandon, King Bob. I am King Bob.
That was actually really good, though. I like that. That was. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the all over the place closing argument time. My meds have taken full effect. This episode was great. I hope you guys liked it as much as I did. That was amazing. Anyways, who do you think won? Put your answers in the comments below, and Ben, do you want to take it over?
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening, as Alex already said. And you all have yourself a good night, day, morning, or whatever time
Merry
of the day
Christmas.
that you're listening to this. Goodbye, everybody.
Have a Merry Christmas. I've been Alex. This has been Ben, and Brandon. Say bye-bye.
You guys, thanks for watching.
Listening.
Listening. Unless you watch with your ears, in which case, keep watching.
Yeah, you nerd. Okay, bye-bye.